what kept these people in Jesus' native place, his hometown, from saying, Jesus, this is really a bit too much for us. Can we just sit and talk? And for instance, how did you gather all this wisdom that you seem to have? I mean, you grew up here in this little backwoods town, and we don't have any resident scholars. We don't have, yes, we've got our rabbi and some people that may have studied some of the scriptures, but where did you get it? And for that matter, what about us present-day people? And for me, the key is, how is it that we can develop our way of looking at life? How can we become as wise as possible? And what are some of the mighty deeds we might be able to do in imitation of Jesus? And again, take myself for instance. People can say, we know where that guy is from. He's from this small farm in Wisconsin, and he's milked cows and shoveled manure and pitched stinky silage and all the rest. We really got to be careful what this character talks about. So, why did these characters take offense at Jesus? Was he that much of a threat to them? Did he challenge them and say, in effect, if Jesus had said to them, and maybe he did, well, why aren't you capable of doing the same things I am? And I'd like to think that that's what Jesus says to all of us present members of the church. So why can't you do what I did? Now we might say, work miracles? Well, we can take the miracles at face value and leave them at that, and Jesus perhaps had abilities beyond what we ordinary human beings have. But when we look at what takes place as a consequence of the miracles, and we can just refer back to this previous Sunday, that here was a woman who was bleeding, losing energy, losing what she needed in order to live and live a wholesome life. Well, how are all the ways in which we allow ourselves or our causes for other people to lose energy, to lose it in being anxious and afraid and frustrated and angry, or even enraged in some cases, what we see people today. People in their rigidity, just simply refusing to connect. All of that is so draining of the energy we need for living. And we call ourselves ordinary human beings, unlike Jesus, who was extraordinary, if we want to use those words. Well, how can we be instruments of helping each other redirect our energies into that which is constructive? We might not be able to stop someone's bleeding. And again, I'm not trying to say that the bleeding was just a symbol. That's not appropriate and certainly not within my bailiwick to say. But we can certainly also see the symbolic value or symbolic meaning in that bleeding. And when Jesus said to the little girl of 12 years old, "Arise," well, how many of us at times are essentially dead in depression, and we're just so frustrated, so aimless, so out of energy, out of motivation, out of any sense of who we are as God's beloved, that we think that the next feather that falls on our shoulders is actually going to cripple us for good. It's all we can bear. We've just, no more. Well, we can't accompany one another and help each other to reflect on who we are in God's eyes, and we can't be there for people even if they need professional help to get out of their depression or whatever it might be, that we can accompany one another in that journey of arising to a new level of consciousness. And again, I'm a primary example of that.